All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the September Akri community meeting. We abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, and this meeting will be recorded. So, if you don't consent, just hop off video or drop off the call. Okay, so we have a few exciting things on the agenda. Um, so also, before we get started, if you can add your name to the attendee section, that would help us out. So the first thing is Kate and I submitted a talk on kind of using Akri with um, QBedge for WebAssembly and MQTT things. So that talk was actually accepted for Kubernetes on Edge Day. So that's really exciting. You can probably be ready to see like a draft of, some deck from us, and Kate's put together already like a really neat demo. And um yeah, do you want to talk about some of the stuff that will be going into the demo? And I know you said we just upstreamed some stuff too.
Yeah, so the demo in general is, I guess the concept of it is we wanted to show how you could bring together SpinCube and Akri. So how you can bring together running WebAssembly applications on Kubernetes with discovery of um, IoT devices. And so what the demo shows is using the Akri MQTT discovery handler that Nicholas put together to discover MQTT devices, and then it'll deploy WebAssembly brokers. And these brokers are executed using the SpinCube MQTT trigger. And it's all configurable because with SpinCube, you can inject as application variables the topic for the trigger to listen on. So that's injected by the Akri agent. Um, and that MQTT trigger is now upstreamed into SpinCube. So originally I just had like a fork that I was doing that demo on, but that exists there now. The thing that is missing, if we want this to be a, okay, now go do it yourself, um, is I think one of the things that we ran into is the prefix that Akri automatically puts on discovery property or on device properties that are injected is Akri underscore instance. So essentially this prefix is not something that is known to actually we upstreamed a fix for that too in SpinCube. So I'm never mind. Essentially with SpinCube now we do something where if you put environment variables in a container, they'll automatically be set as application variables. Um, so that if you request that application variable for a component, it will be exposed. That's a lot to be said. This is all now doable. I haven't tested it, but I actually don't think we need to upstream anything else to make this work. Fingers crossed. But so it should be a demo where we can show it and um, people can walk away from the talk and go use MQTT and WASM on Kubernetes, which is pretty exciting. The only downside with this is that or one of the downsides, I'm sure there will be something else pointed out. The demo was just a fake device. So we need to come up with something a little bit more interesting, which Nicholas is very good at with his fun printer demos. So we will try to come up with something somewhat intriguing. So if anyone has any ideas for what would be an interesting MQTT plus Kubernetes scenario with real devices that use MQTT protocol, that would be very helpful. Slash, if you have those devices, that would be helpful. So yeah, sending out requests for ideas, I guess, is the follow up there.
Review offline. Um, uh, there's some other people that I think who are looking to do similar-ish demos that it would be good to probably connect everybody.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. If there's something that SUSE's doing, we could do it on like K3S or one of SUSE's distros and kind of pull it together. And especially if that's something y'all are going to have on the booth at your booth or something, then that would be a really cool go check out their booth kind of thing. So yeah, let's talk offline.
Yeah, it's another partner, which is why I'm not offering on the call. But yeah, I would want to chat with them first.
Perfect.
Cool. And then I think, following up with that, we also did get a KubeCon booth shift for the Wednesday AM. So it is just, one pretty short shift, but if we do have like that demo going, we can also maybe have something set up at the booth as well in the project pavilion. So yeah, let's discuss what we can do for the demo. The next thing on the agenda, is there anything else before we move on for KubeCon?
Also got a talk accepted at Kubernetes on Edge Day, and I might pull. So it's about doing kiosks with Kubernetes, and I'll probably at least mention Akri and show that discovery path that I showed, I think, probably last year. But I actually got a talk accepted about it, so yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats. Yeah, I saw on the schedule, I think it's like you and then us starting
Oh,
off
nice.
the session. So I think it'll be really nice to have.
No pressure.
Cool. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the controller refactor work. So I know Nicola worked on the agent refactor work not too long ago. Kate, and then you mentioned that you'll be doing some controller refactoring. Can you talk a little more to that one?
Yeah, so Nicholas's refactor was a lot more than what mine is, but essentially the end goal of this work is we want to get our kubeRS, which is the Rust Kubernetes client, up to latest. And what that gives us is a lot of that crate itself has really grown since we were using it in what felt like the dinosaur days. Like we were using kubeRS before it was even like a certified Kubernetes client. Now it is and has amazing documentation, and it has a lot more that it has, like finalizers and even better automated watchers and events. So Nicola got the controller up to latest there. And I mean the agent up to their latest, and I'm working on getting the controller or to almost latest, and I'm working on getting the controller up to that too. I have the actual controller code up to latest, but you have to rewrite a lot of the tests. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Once we're there, um, we should probably cut a release, and then we should, well, actually, before cutting a release, we should probably bump all our other dependencies if we can, like minor dependencies and stuff, because some stuff may have been blocked on Cube. Um, and then we could cut a release. And then there's so many other things, features and stuff that we want to get out. And I think having this bumped will probably help accelerate that. So yeah, I'm excited about maybe the pace of which we're gonna be able to turn things picking up a little.
When we bump the dependencies, we may want to try again getting rid of the patch we have on it's, I don't remember what library it
H2.
is, but yeah, H2. So see if it's still needed, because it would be nice to get rid of that one.
For sure. Yeah. I would be very surprised if we can't get rid of it now. It's been actually like 3 or 4 years. And but did H2 end up adding their own? Oh, I think wasn't it the Kubernetes, the Go client that the kubelet was using needed a change, and we think it's there. Is that what, I can't even remember what the
Well,
solution was.
the H2 team has, well, there's a PR open with the solution. They apparently don't want to merge it. I don't really know why. And because basically the Kubernetes Go client for here was sending some header that is not supposed to be here in the HTTP2 protocol. And because the header was there, the Rust implementation of H2 was basically trying to interpret that header, but because that header shouldn't be there, it didn't have any meaningful information in here, so it was getting rejected. And because it's out of spec for HTTP2, they basically are saying, well, it's up to the other end to be up to spec, and not send the header.
So I think the key there is that the Kubernetes Go client there is using the correct headers now, which we just need to check. And I think they did update the Go dependency to be using appropriate ones, but yeah, hopefully we can get rid of that patch. And that'll help us get closer to 1.0.
The main concern here is that to ensure that every version we want to support of Kubernetes and of the different flavors of Kubernetes have the right fix for this. Last time I checked, it was like some time ago now. There was still some versions that were not fixed. I don't remember which one though, so I can't tell if it should be good now or not yet.
We had the conversation about how long we want to support different versions of Kubernetes from a community point of view.
I think we may have briefly in a previous meeting, and from what I remember that being is supporting as long as Kubernetes says that version is supported, like their support matrix of, because we had some versions that Kubernetes was declaring as deprecated or whatever their naming is for their phase out approach. So I think we've mentioned just staying aligned with that. So when Kubernetes phases out, that's an acceptable time for us too as well. Do people have thoughts on that? I can also look up that policy from Kubernetes.
That's for community project for sure.
So I actually have the same questions because I'm trying to create a new bug batch for incoming release, and that would relate to the supported Kubernetes version. So I did a quick look up to the current Kubernetes support metrics. So I think for them, each release would be supported for approximately a year, and it will be started being deprecated. So just to share and kind of check if we are okay with this kind of the pace for getting new version.
Well, I think that community-wise, we cannot afford to do more because we always want to support, I'd say, latest versions because, well, it's latest. But I don't think we can basically test whenever there's a bug or something coming. I don't think we can afford to test more than just what is supported upstream. So
So that's where a place where vendors can provide additional value. If they so chose.
Got it. But when we release our new version, we want to switch to the latest Kubernetes. Is that
It would be
right?
It would be the last three latest.
Okay,
would be
got it.
what we would be testing on,
Got it.
right?
Okay, no problem.
On this, I think we need to update the version in the test metrics. I'm not sure they are up to date.
All right.
Say
Anything else?
116 or higher.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and just bump that to latest, or whatever our matrix is. Our test matrix is higher than that, I assume, but
All right. Ethan, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. I'll figure out the exact versions and put it in the draft of the bug bash. Then we can have some more discussion if necessary.
So, speaking of bug bash, in lieu of the, release, which I think now we're just trying to get before KubeCon with the agent refactor, controller refactor, and other little fixes and features. Ethan started working on a template for bug bash, but I think we'll need your help to fill out more of the scenarios, testing, like the edge cases for those refactor work. So Ethan, do you want to quickly go over those? I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay. Yeah. Let me start with the previous one. So for the previous bug bash, we have three basic scenario. One is a quick deployment and instance allocation, and two more scenario for identify on-leave camera. One is without password, another is with password. I think these are like a very good basic scenario that we should keep testing. I guess my question would be for our incoming release, since they are refactory against the agent and the controller, do we need to add any additional scenarios to cover those changes, or these basic scenarios should be sufficient?
I think we should definitely try to ensure we, well, we didn't break anything for the um, reclaiming of slots. So ensuring that when a workload gets deleted, the slots get reclaimed. So that's maybe something that we need to add as a scenario, and as well as ensuring that everything works well with multiple nodes discovering the same device. So basically the on-VIF scenario, but with more than one node. I think that's the two thing that, and in fact, I think we should always do the more than one node check, because that's something that we currently lack for our end-to-end tests.
Yeah, on that note, I would remove the on-VIF scenario though, because I don't think that's necessary for this bug bash. And yeah, instead use debug echo or use on-VIF for multiple nodes discovering a device, but have it be more focused on multiple nodes, not on on-VIF. Like keep the setup as simple as possible. Yeah, so maybe don't do on-VIF, but instead use debug echo. And then if people want to go beyond, we should try other devices as well. I would also think it'd be good to just bug bash the QBRS client in the sense of like mess around with custom resources. So like update instances, update configurations, delete, apply, just a lot of state change, and seeing how the agent and controller handle that.
Yeah, for that QBRS delete and apply, that should be a manual bug bash steps or something to be covered with a unit test. Just try to clarify.
I think that should be a scenario of the bug bash.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'll start a draft of the bug base pretty soon, and probably will ask for some more help to fill in some more details for the steps. Any other feedbacks for the bug bench? That's all the questions I have for now.
And then what should the timeline of the bug bash be? I think we should do like maybe a week of async bug bash is probably how we did it last time, I think. So that way, since we're all on different time zones and stuff too, it's more flexible. Should we aim for like October? Is that reasonable, or what do others think?
Yeah, I think aiming for the bug bash kicking off our next community meeting could be good.
Okay.
And then we have a week, and that gives us like a month to ensure that we've incorporated that feedback and cut a release before KubeCon.
That sounds good. Yeah. Awesome. All right. And then the last thing, I guess, is Ethan, if you wanted to quickly touch on the monthly metrics. I know you said there probably weren't a lot of changes, but
Yeah, we can still take a look. Okay. So for the repository visit, unique clone relative metrics, they are pretty much the same since last month. and we don't have any new issues open, nor issues closed. The video views for the few key videos we have to introduce Akri are also slowly increase the number of views, similar to last month. And then finally, we can still see there is still lots of downloads for the two key versions, 12.9 and 12.20 all gets a lot of downloads. As since last month. So at least people are still using it, download it. So that's a good side. Any questions?
Not a question, just a fun remark that it's funny how the controller get downloaded almost 3 times more for the 0.12.9 in the last 30 days. That's not what what I would expect.
Let me quickly check the number of last month, see if that's similar. Open the file. Switch. Okay. So these are the numbers for last month. Still like twice to the agent, but it's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, we may have already say something about this, but yeah, it's probably just some CI or something from someone that is pulling the controller and not the agent as much, probably. But yeah, it's still weird to have this. Well, usually you expect more agent than controllers, so that's just that makes me wonder. But hey, it's what it is, and it's an old version anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Ethan. And then I don't think we have any new issues to triage either. So is there anything else that anyone wants to discuss before we end the meeting? Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, we'll probably ping you offline for getting the bug bash scenarios down and then finalizing it by the next community meeting, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you
Nice
soon.
day.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.